Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Now, I did a poll 2 days ago, and 2.6 thousand of you guys put in your vote as to who it was that you would like Dillian Whyte to fight next if the WBC was to say to Dillian Whyte, as in their resolution for this whole situation, because they have screwed him over. Dillian Whyte's done everything correct. He is number one in the WBC and he is the silver champion. He has done exactly what it is that they wanted, but yet they keep overlooking him for a world title shot. Okay, and one of the reasons that he turned down the Joshua fight was because he thought that he was going to be getting a Dominic Breazeale next, which meant that he would have fought the winner of Wilder vs Fury, but things fell apart. They did. So not only is Wilder vs Fury not happening, but Whyte vs Breazeale is not happening, because Breazeale is now going to be fighting Deontay Wilder. And Wilder, in the over 4 years that he's been champion, has only fought one mandatory. So Dominic Breazeale will be second in, by the time they fight, nearly 4.5 years. Now, as WBC champion, you're supposed to defend your belt against the mandatory once a year, maximum once every 18 months. But to only do it so far, only one in over 4 years, is absolutely terrible. So he owes the WBC a couple of mandatories, okay? And hopefully the WBC see that and they order the winner of Wilder versus Breazeale to take on the winner of Whyte versus whoever it may be. Maybe the WBC will order Dillian Whyte to have a fight, or whatever it may be. But most of you guys would like, if that situation was to happen, for Dillian Whyte's opponent to be Luis Ortiz. Okay, and 63% of you out of the 2.6 thousand votes want Luis Ortiz. And I think a lot of that is down to, is Luis Ortiz the real deal or is he not? Also, it's a way for a lot of people want Dillian Whyte to fight Luis Ortiz, to beat Luis Ortiz, to shut up the Wilder fan base. Okay, because the Wilder fan base, they always want, for whatever reason it may be, everybody must fight Luis Ortiz before they can fight Deontay Wilder. Yet nobody has fought Luis Ortiz before they fought Deontay Wilder before. So why suddenly now? Okay, and is it a case of Luis Ortiz is a hype job? Maybe he is, we don't know. Because unfortunately, he hasn't been in there with the best. He hasn't risked himself against some of the best fighters around. Now, I'm not going to say that he hasn't wanted to, not at all. It is very, very feasible that some of the top fighters didn't want to fight Luis Ortiz. They've seen him as high risk and low reward. And we can't say that that ain't true. But unfortunately, in some of the fights that he has taken, listen, his biggest win was Bryant Jennings. That doesn't tell you too much about it. And when he did get the opportunity against Wilder, he lost. He got stopped. But ultimately, beforehand, yes, he had Wilder all over the place, and had the referee stopped that fight, nobody would have complained. Okay, and yes, Wilder did get some help at the end of round number 7, and certainly at the beginning of round number 8, with the referee and the medical team checking him over. Even Showtime was saying this is absolutely disgusting. So yeah, I mean, we can certainly feel for Luis Ortiz, but ultimately he shot his bolt. Okay, he went all at it and was tired and couldn't capitalize on it. But ultimately, people are looking at Luis Ortiz saying, but since then, you fought Razvan Kajanu and Travis Kaufman, not really great opponents. Okay, so maybe you're not as good as we thought and hoped that you were. Okay, listen, he won those fights, but he didn't look spectacular, especially against Travis Kaufman. So people would like to see him and Dillian Whyte. A lot of people put these two on the same kind of level. For me, I believe that Dillian Whyte beats Luis Ortiz, and I believe that he will outpoint him or knock him out. That's how I honestly believe that he would do it. But most of you guys would like to see that fight for a lot of interest. And here in the UK, that is a worthy pay-per-view for July the 13th. Now, the other names that I gave you, Asia Cabello, the European champion, that's a realistic one. He is ranked highly in the WBC. He is the European champion, and he is undefeated from Germany as well. But not many people really want to see that fight. Only 3% of you said Asia Cabello. Now, Dillian Whyte's never been European champion. For me, it's another belt to add to the mantelpiece while he's waiting for his world title shot. Okay, and for the fact that Asia Cabello, his biggest win, you could say, is Derek Chisora, where, listen, I know the judges had it quite close, but for me, Adjikabiel dominated Derek Chisora in that fight, won it handedly. And I do feel that Adjikabiel is a moderately avoided fighter. Moderately. Okay, the other one, Alexander Povetkin. 18% of you guys wanted Alexander Povetkin, which again is a decent fight. Alexander Povetkin has an absolutely stellar resume. He really does. He is younger than Luis Ortiz as well, so let's factor that one in. Personally, I would love to see Luis Ortiz versus Alexander Povetkin. For me, that will be absolutely cracker. But I don't think Luis Ortiz wants that fight, to be honest with you. I really don't believe that he wants that fight. But 18% of you said Alexander Povetkin, and I can see why. That is a very, very good fight. Only 9% of you said Adam Kolonaki, which I'm not too surprised about. He's not the biggest name in the heavyweight division. He is undefeated. He's Polish. I believe he has American dual nationality as well. He's best friends with Big Baby Jaron Miller and, of course, with Shannon the Cannon Briggs. That's an interesting fight. Again, we don't know how good Adam Kolonaki is. We can only base it on who it is that he fought so far. And so far, he's the real deal. Okay, he dispatched not only Gerald Washington, but also Arthur Spilka in half the time that it took Deontay Wilder to do it. But Adjikabiel is a high-risk, low-reward fight also. Is it a pay-per-view fight? Maybe, and I think it would sell out, especially here in the UK, because of the amount of Polish people here in the UK. That arena would sell out very, very easily, very, very quickly. And don't be surprised if the crowd is very pro Adam Kolonaki, because of the amount of Polish people that will buy the tickets to go watch that event. Okay, now the other one was Manuel Charr. Now, Manuel Charr is not going to be ordered by the WBC. He's a WBA regular champion. You could argue maybe he shouldn't be because he failed the PED test and all that kind of thing. But I put that in there purely because he's being mentioned. But Manuel Charr has recently said that he's got no interest in fighting Dillian Whyte. In fact, he doesn't deem Dillian Whyte as worthy. Come on now. I don't think there's a boxing fan on the planet that would pick Manuel Charr to defeat Dillian Whyte. So for me, that's him avoiding. He doesn't want Dillian Whyte. But either way, most of you guys want Dillian Whyte versus Luis Ortiz on July the 13th. Of course, that will be a pay-per-view. For me, that will do very, very well with pay-per-view numbers, and it will generate a lot of interest. Ultimately, it's going to be Dillian that's going to be selling the fight, but I don't think the fight needs selling too much. People know who these guys are, and people want to see that fight. For the hardcore, of course, the casual, listen, even the casual, they will watch Dillian Whyte anyway, and to be honest, it doesn't matter who it is that he fights. But I do think that, Luis Ortiz or a Povetkin or a Kolonaki, yeah, certainly. And even Adjikabiel has interest for me. But no matter who it is that he fights, as long as the WBC do the right thing and make Dillian Whyte versus whoever it may be on July 13th, guaranteed a shot at the winner of Wilder versus Breazeale for the WBC heavyweight title. I know some people say, but if Breazeale manages to defeat Deontay Wilder, there'll be a rematch. There won't be a rematch, okay? Or at least there shouldn't be a rematch, because Dominic Breazeale is the mandatory. So you don't have to do it. And in other words, it's not a voluntary for Deontay Wilder. Anyway, so that is the poll that a hell of a lot more of you guys want to see Dillian Whyte versus Luis Ortiz. As I said, will the WBC do the right thing? For me, they are owed a couple of mandatories, so there's no reason in the world why they can't enforce Deontay Wilder to do back-to-back mandatories, as he does owe them. He has been helped throughout not only his entire career, but certainly as champion. He's been allowed to fight lesser opposition for a long, long time. He owes the WBC some mandatories, and for me, there's no reason in the world why they can't order the next fight for whoever wins between Wilder and Breazeale as the mandatory. Dillian Whyte is owed this opportunity. As I said before, he did turn down Anthony Joshua because he's been going for the WBC title for a long time, and ultimately he wants that title, and then fight Anthony Joshua for undisputed. And you can only give Dillian Whyte credit because it's brave and it's very, very risky. Okay, I mean, for me, I think that this is probably the right move to make. And if he fights Luis Ortiz, I would pick Dillian Whyte to win. If he fights Deontay Wilder, I would pick Dillian Whyte to win. Anyway, that's your views. You all want Dillian Whyte versus Luis Ortiz on July 13th. Will we get it? Well, first of all, we have to wait and see what the WBC do. Hopefully, they do the right thing. Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, and of course, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.